Hello, I'm Estelle Toby Goldstein, MD, the Renegade Doctor. This is the fifth in a series of free lessons to teach you one of the most important topics for anyone in private practice, how to determine a fair rate to charge your clients. If you haven't seen the previous 4 parts, please search for and watch those before continuing with this one. In the first 4 parts, I've advised you to evaluate your fees so you can set a price that is fair to you. And I told you how to make a self-inventory to discover what qualities make you unique and how your unique qualities help you determine your niche. Now we are going to talk numbers. I'm actually going to give you guidelines to set your price. But that won't be the end of it because you will have some resistance to raising your rates. You need to learn why and how raising your fee is actually going to help you. Now, sometime in your career, you've probably worked in an insurance-based practice. The basis for insurance payment is the so-called usual and customary fees method. The official definition is the charge for health care that is consistent with the average rate or charge for identical or similar services in a certain geographic area. Now, this is supposedly determined statistically by the insurance company, of course, by what fees local medical providers are charging for various services. The insurance company will usually discount that fee by 20%, and that's what they pay the doctors. The trick is really this. When the insurance companies gather rates, they are the rates that the insurance company is already paying. And we've seen that those were originally discounted by 20%. So the result is a new rate that is another 20% less. It doesn't matter if you're a first-year resident or you've been a doctor for 50 years. The insurance company pays everybody the same. Over the course of time, the doctor sees a steady, gradual decline in income. This is explained more fully in my series about establishing a cash-only practice. And you don't come out ahead if you decide to be a non-participating doctor. Many PPOs now pay non-participating providers based on the negotiated rate that would have been paid to a participating provider had the patient used one. That means a surgeon who charges $7,000 for an operation will be paid, for example, 70% of the usual and customary charge that they would have paid a network provider if the patient had used one. As in this case, that would be $5,000. So the doctor ends up with $3,500, or half of what she would have earned if working on a cash-only basis. I say that if this surgeon is worth $7,000, then she ought to be paid $7,000. And saying that makes me a renegade. Insurance companies will not divulge usual and customary rates. They consider the information proprietary. So if you accept payment as a non-participating provider, you are in for a surprise when the check does eventually come. Medicare rates are notoriously low rates established by the government. You never want to be a non-participating doctor accepting Medicare. I advise all the doctors I consult with or who come to my seminars to make a clean break from all insurance plans. If you hire an established consultant to analyze the existing data and help you set your fees, he will usually tell you to increase about 5% and certainly no more than 10%, just like a cost of living allowance. But you know me as the Renegade Doctor. I'm no ordinary consultant. I say you should raise the rates up to where you are fairly compensated for your level of training and your years of experience. You deserve nothing less. New York Attorney General Andrew M. Cuomo investigated several of the nation's largest healthcare insurers in early 2008. He found, for example, that while doctors in the metropolitan New York City area typically charge $200 for an office visit, the usual and customary calculated rate paid only $77. Under a typical plan, the insurer would pay 80% of the $77, or only $62. The doctor took less than a third of what she was entitled to collect. I fully believe and advise my consulting clients that you should raise your rates a minimum of 50% above the usual and customary rate. And of course, don't ever accept payment as a non-participating provider. The patient pays cash at the time of service. If you establish yourself in a niche, you can raise the price accordingly from there. When I took the self-inventory I advised for you in lesson number 2 and established the niche for myself as I advised you in lesson number 4, I determined that I was worth 3 times as much as I was currently charging. That's right, I tripled my fees. So how did that work out for me? You'll just have to wait until our next lesson to hear about that, as well as the proper way to raise the fees so you don't lose existing patients and you get referrals from new patients who are glad to pay your new price. Do you think you can't double or triple your fees? I challenge you to continue to the next lesson, and I'll make it plain that you really don't have a choice if you want to stay in business and enjoy your career. For more information about me and my methods for developing a successful private practice, please see my website, fixdoctorsfirst.com. Until our next visit, this is Estelle Toby Goldstein, MD, the Renegade Doctor, wishing you health, happiness, and success.